Alright, let's do this. Today I'm going to be talking about the... Oh man. Hi everyone, my name is Karen and today I'm going to be talking about The Crown by Kiera Cass. For those of you who don't know, The Crown is the last installment in the Selection series by Kiera Cass, and if you don't know what the Selection series is, where have you been? So, as we left off in the air, Edelyn is now trying to find a husband from the Selection. She's not doing too hot, is all I can really say about this. This book was kind of a mess, to be honest. I gave it a 3 stars out of 5 on Goodreads. I think I was just being nice because I really like the Selection series. Honestly, The Crown is kind of like Kiera just trying to get everything to end. Like she was just like, okay, we gotta finish the series, so she kind of just crammed everything into this book. This very, very short, less than 300 page book. It wasn't her most successful book, if I do say so myself. I think her Selection series was a lot better than The Crown and The Heir, but it was still fun to read. If you read the Selection series and you're interested in reading The Heir and The Crown, I mean, just go for it. It's quick. It took me about 2 sittings to read this. And really, Edelyn is not any more likable than she was in the last book at all. Really, I was mostly reading for all the side characters. My favorite characters were Eric, Henri, you know, all those guys, and Edelyn was just kind of there. You know, I just kind of had to read about her in order to get to the people I wanted to read about. So, pros and cons of the books. Pros. You get to finish the series. It ends. You get to find out who she picks, which I had already guessed from the first book, but it was still somewhat of a surprise, and it was pretty cutesy. And that's the thing about the Selection series, is that all the books are really cutesy, so you'll like them. They're actually on my favorite shelf. My top shelf is my favorites, and you can see the Selection is there. Cons of The Crown. Really, there was no character development. I mean, there kind of was, like, Edelyn was sort of forced to develop as a character, but it really was not a realistic character development. It was kind of like, oh, like that, you know, so it wasn't that great. The plot wasn't that interesting. Basically, Kiera was kind of just recycling other plots from her other books and just putting them in here with Edelyn as the main character. The characters aren't really that likable. I'll go into this further with my spoilery discussion. This isn't even a spoiler, really. Most of the boys went home pretty early, so I really didn't have any time to like them at all. I really didn't like anyone except Henri and Eric and Maxim. I'm such an awkward person. Why did I decide to do Booktube? Alright, so I'm going to go into my spoilery discussion. If you guys haven't read The Crown, I would suggest you guys just go away. Go read it, come back in a couple hours, we can discuss this together. Alright guys, so I just want to say, why did they add the Ilea guy? What's his name? What is his name? Augustus' son, or Augustus' son. Meryd. Why did they add Meryd into this story? Meryd was probably the dumbest thing I could have ever read about. If the book series was longer, if like The Heir and The Crown were longer and more developed, it would have been fine to have Meryd in there. But really, he just came in just for the heck of it. It was just a plot device and it didn't really work. I didn't like Meryd. I don't know why she thought of putting that in there. They could have added anything else, but I just thought he was just stupid. I was offended, to be honest. I was very offended that she would have even had the audacity to try to throw in another boy in there. Because there's already so many boys in here, and I don't like any of them, and I don't like Meryd either. So, I don't know. Eric was my favorite one. I love Eric. He's my favorite character. He was the reason I was reading. All this time was for Eric. Even in the Selection series, I was like, you know what, there's gonna be this cute boy, he's gonna come in, his name's gonna be Eric, he's gonna be Swendish? from Swendway. Swendish? I like Derek. I knew she was gonna pick him. I knew it because he was the most not thought of to win. That's the thing about Kiera. She like brings the underdog to win. At first we thought Henry was the underdog, right? Because he's like the Finnish guy. He can't speak English. She wasn't gonna pick him. Why would she pick someone she can't even communicate with? We knew she wasn't gonna pick him. Then Hale turns out to be gay. I knew it was coming. I was like, wow, let's have the guy that knows how to sew, that wants to be a fashion designer, the really nice, handsome one. Wow, it would be so weird if he turned out to be gay. I was like, really? Let's put all the gay tropes into Hale. I'm not that mad about it, but I'm kind of mad about it. We needed a reason to get him out of the selection. We got 2 people out of the selection. Really, I just didn't like this. I didn't like The Crown. I didn't like The Heir. I still read them. They're still fine. There's actually like an epilogue in here where it talks about what happens to Josie. And you know for a fact that I didn't read that. I was not about to read that shit. I already hate everyone. Why would I want to read about Josie, who's now like great? She hates Josie all throughout the first book and all throughout this book, but then they magically become friends. Just like how America didn't like Celeste and then they magically become friends. Really, everything that happened in the other books happened in these books. She like tried to fit all of the elite and the one in here. And it's such a short book, it wasn't gonna work out for her. I love you, Kiera, but this was just not your best work. I still hate Evelyn. And I really didn't like America in this either. She didn't keep any of her personalities in this book. She basically became the old queen. Alright guys, that's all for my review right now. I'm sorry, this is just a terrible review. It's my first one. Well, not my first filmed one. I filmed one for Cinder, Scarlet, and I think I filmed one for Cress, but I never uploaded those, so this is my first one. Alright, well, my name is Karen. If you like this video, you know what to do. Comment, like, subscribe, all that jazz. If you're new to Booktube, holler at me. I'd love to meet new people. And anyway, that's it for today. Goodbye. I have to go pee. Sorry.